In Module 1.1, we answered the question, what just happened? In Module 1.2, we narrowed our focus to the articles that directly impact you as a working Arizona real estate agent. Now we take the next logical step. Why is this course classified as legal issues? Because everything we have discussed so far is not simply administrative housekeeping. It is enforceable law. And once you understand where enforcement authority comes from, you will never look at rule updates the same way again. Rules Enforce ARS, Title 32, Chapter 20. Let's start with the structure. Arizona real estate law operates on two levels. The first level is statutory law found in the Arizona Revised Statutes. The primary statute governing real estate licensees is Title 32, Chapter 20. This chapter establishes licensing requirements, broker responsibilities, recovery funds, compensation rules, and the authority of the commissioner. The second level is administrative rule, found in the Arizona Administrative Code, specifically Title 4, Chapter 28 for ADRI. Here is the key concept. The statutes give the department authority. The rules explain how that authority is applied in daily practice. Think of Title 32 as the blueprint. Think of the Administrative Code as the building instructions. When the legislature updates Title 32, the department must ensure the rules match the statutory framework. That is what the 2025 Overhaul accomplished. For example, Title 32 defines what activities require a license. The rules clarify what active, inactive, or eligible status means in real-world application. Title 32 gives the commissioner disciplinary power. The rules describe supervision standards, advertising obligations, and negotiation conduct that, if violated, trigger discipline. This is why the 2025 modernization is not optional reading. It directly connects to statutory authority, and statutory authority is where discipline lives. Violations. Discipline under ARS, paragraph 32, 2153. Now we arrive at one of the most important statutes every Arizona agent should know by number. ARS, paragraph 32, 2153. This is the disciplinary statute. It authorizes the commissioner to suspend, revoke, deny, or otherwise discipline a license for specific violations, including dishonest dealings, misrepresentation, false advertising, failure to exercise reasonable care, violations of statute or rule, demonstrated negligence or incompetence. Notice that last phrase carefully, violation of statute or rule. That means if you violate the administrative code, even if the statute itself is not explicitly cited, you can still face discipline because the rules are adopted under statutory authority. Here's how this plays out. Imagine an agent fails to properly disclose compensation sharing under Article 7. That violation is not just a paperwork mistake. It becomes a rule violation. Once it is a rule violation, it can be disciplined under paragraph 32, 2153. Or imagine an agent allows unauthorized occupancy without proper written authorization, violating professional conduct rules under Article 11. That becomes a rule violation. And again, paragraph 32, 2153 provides the enforcement teeth. This is why this is a legal issues course. Every modernization we discussed in Module 1.2 ultimately feeds into the disciplinary statute. The statute is the hammer. The rules define what can be struck. Clarifications increase enforceability. Let's return to a theme from Modules 1.1 and 1.2. Clarity. When rules are vague, enforcement becomes harder. Agents can argue ambiguity. Brokers can argue inconsistent interpretation. Administrative hearings become debates about wording. When rules are clarified, enforcement becomes stronger. The 2025 Overhaul did exactly that. It modernized language. It removed outdated phrasing. It aligned terminology with current statute. It clarified supervision responsibility. It addressed electronic media. It addressed inactive status. It refined negotiation standards. Why does that matter legally? Because in an administrative hearing, the question often becomes, was the rule clear enough that the licensee should have known? Clear rules reduce that defense. Arizona courts have repeatedly affirmed that licensed professionals are held to higher standards due to the public trust nature of their profession. In cases such as Hill v. Jones, the courts reinforced the importance of disclosure and honesty in real estate transactions. While that case involved property condition disclosure, the broader principle applies. Agents are expected to understand and comply with regulatory obligations. Ignorance is rarely a successful defense. And when rules are clarified, the "I didn't realize that applied to me" argument becomes weaker. Let's use a practical scenario. An agent posts digitally altered photos without disclosing that the property condition has been enhanced. Under older, less modernized language, the agent might argue the rule did not specifically address AI or digital manipulation. Under clarified advertising language, that argument loses strength. The conduct becomes more clearly defined as potentially misleading. Clarity protects consumers. It also narrows your margin of error. How this connects to the previous section. In Module 1.2, we discussed 5 articles: licensure, advertising, compensation, documents, and professional conduct. Each of those articles now carries clearer expectations. In this module, we have identified why those expectations matter legally. They are enforceable under Title 32, and discipline is authorized under Paragraph 32, 2.153. Everything overlaps. Licensure errors can become disciplinary actions. Advertising mistakes can become disciplinary actions. Compensation non-disclosure can become disciplinary actions. Document mishandling can become disciplinary actions. Professional conduct violations can become disciplinary actions. The articles define your duties. Title 32 gives the department power to enforce them. How this connects to the next section. In Module 1.4, we will examine a critical shift: how modernization moves enforcement from technical interpretation toward practical accountability. We will explore how the reduction of ambiguity increases consistency and discipline, and how that changes risk management for brokers and agents. Understanding the legal foundation first is essential. You cannot protect yourself from discipline unless you understand where that discipline originates, and now you do.